Very interesting. Now, I know there's some people that probably want to call in tonight, so let's take some phone calls in about 5 minutes' time. I want to get your thoughts on 2012 in a sec, but that number is 503-288-4442. Since 2012 is on the minds of many people, and the mainstream media is really projecting it as the end of the world instead of a transformation consciousness into a new world without, hopefully, a new world order. How do you view 2012 in the future?
Okay, well, I studied cataclysmic evolution for about 10 years. This was in the 90s when we were kind of Y2K and all that kind of hype stuff. And it was a New Age thing, and it was also a paranoid thing. The cataclysmic evolution is a reality that's ignored by Western science. So, but what people do is they project their fears of the end of anything onto...
Because we're so attached to this physical...
Yeah, and the fear of letting go, and all my plans will be ruined.
The holding on to the old world.
Holding on, attachment, and also the fears of their own insides. So I call it fear of birth trauma, or the repression of birth trauma. But anyway, so 2012 is astrologically extremely difficult. Mm-hmm. And I've been studying it now for a couple of years by doing charts on it, and I finally did some charts on 2012. This one right here is on 2012. You can get this free online if you go free birth chart online, and you put in any date you want. And what it showed is the basic trend, what this is in general, is a lot of oppositions of Libra and Aries. Libra is openness, friendliness, balancing. Aries is like the volcano in the Gulf. Aries is the explode. It's a volcano. Aries is the ram, the charging ram, the sign of spring, the new things. Aries people are very courageous, or angry, or...
We're talking about an apex of a shift here.
Yes, it is. And that's partly why the New World Order is trying to get more control. Like they were threatening during Bush. They were always threatening. They hardly did anything except for secret money shit, but they were always threatening shit. Now they're doing it.
Yeah, the build-up.
So,
and 2012 seems to be a key date for them. I've always felt that. And I don't know what it is, but Michael, with the solar flares and their potential effect on satellites, if we're living naturally, organically, free energy, that's not going to affect us. It seems to me the government, the military-industrial complex, is concerned about solar activity taking out their space weapons apparatus.
Well, that's only one of the invisible networks. Mm-hmm. And what I'm more interested in is how the weather affects what we grow here.
Okay.
And for example, GMO, you know the war on GMO. Mm-hmm. You probably mentioned it on your show.
Monsanto, Obama appointed the head of Monsanto to lead the agriculture department.
The same guy was in the government under Bush. Mm-hmm. So those guys have this plan to grow mass amounts of food, feed people, and then kill them.
There's SWAT raids I've been reading about in Los Angeles where raw milk is being sold. So the USDA war on independent organic farms has certainly escalated the last several months. I've noticed in terms of the news.
On the East Coast, in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, they were arresting farmers for selling raw milk on their farms. So this is not new.
Right.
And just a little background. After World War II, during the 20s, they actually started going against raw milk because the dairies were getting big. Like now, the farms are getting, since World War II, the farms are getting really big. Well, the National Dairy Council became against raw milk, because then what they do is they collect all the milk in their trucks, they pasteurize it, and then sell it. Mm-hmm. And it's a big profit thing. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're threatening the raw milk people for food co-ops. Basically, it's food co-ops in their neighborhood. They're threatening them by stealing their food. So, I mean, that's about as unconstitutional as you can get. But we aren't really talking about constitutional issues. Right, but we could do a whole show.
Okay, here's another one, and because this is about you tonight and some of the information that you have for the audience. So Gaia Rage, that's another term that you write about, that you've written articles about, and how that correlates with these energetic changes.
Well, okay, Gaia Rage relates to the sun driving every system on Earth. So every system on Earth, it's heated up in various temperatures, whether it's under the ocean, in the soil, on the top of the soil, in the compost pile, indoors, outdoors. So when we create buildings and gardens and permaculture, we do it with angles of the sun. Mm-hmm. And Gaia Rage means that nature is kind of attacking the people who aren't living naturally. And even inside, what's called epidemics are really acidosis of the high starch, fats, cooked foods, cooked oils, cooked meats that turn poisonous inside.
Mm-hmm.
And you've heard of acidosis, or those pills that you take to kill your acid stomach. Acids are really the problem in general.
Yes,
the poison food.
And there's also info now coming out about BPA and the water bottles and the hormonal imbalance from the flooding of estrogen and puberty in young girls still plummeting. Right now it's about 7 or 8. And the new development that came out, just this little mini news bulletin here, the receipts, the cash receipts, are also leaching the BPA.
There's so many chemicals now that the only ones that we really hear about are the ones that become known to be toxic. But there's thousands of chemicals
because
around
someone did a study
all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, and the studies reveal that they are toxic. But it takes how many years for those studies to then be revealed as toxic? It's the same with psychiatric drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It takes so many years for the drugs to be revealed as toxic, but then by then they have new ones.
Right.
See, so in a way, I'm not sure about this, but could they be growing more and more food for more and more profit and more people so that they have an overpopulation and then killing them off with toxic chemicals?
I think the important thing about this conversation is we're looking optimistically at the future in terms of Earth changes, not in a fearful negative way, because I can see how life would be better without this current structure as it currently is modeled.
Right. Let's talk then about saving water here.
Okay.
Because Portland, there's a house in Portland over in the Buckman neighborhood that completely retrofitted his house to collect rainwater and store it in a big tank in the back, in the shade, and had it piped throughout the house from this rainwater catcher and filtered, so they could actually do all their water just from the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a movement which I helped last year, called Recode Oregon, which is about recoding the building codes, changing the building codes so it would promote solar, passive solar panels, water catchment, and allowing gardens and shade, to redesign or retrofit your house.
And that's in conjunction with your partnership with Tryon Farm and City Repair.
Yes.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, those are two main players in this. I mean, they both are involving with hundreds of people.
Yeah.
But that's kind of small in Portland, even though there are thousands of gardens. In Portland, one of the wonderful things is you can walk down the sidewalk and touch, smell, and even taste hundreds of herbs.
You know what I like about this time? Finding the plum trees. That's my favorite.
Well, they're sweet.
So, what else can you tell us about, and we'll, of course, take some phone calls, 503-288-4442.
Your astrology chart?
We can get to that a little bit later. Consciousness. Talking about the sun and its impact on us, and that's what some of the news clips have been about before you came on. But our thoughts, our dream states, our awareness levels.
Uh-huh. Well, the word mind and then consciousness. So consciousness, in a way, really is everything that's invisible. It's the spirit. It's a motivation, but it's also kind of squished down and, we might say, ignored or denied from the birth patterns, from the childhood and that sort of thing. So the children grow up and they don't really know that you can. Well, some of the sensitive ones do. That's why they call them indigo children.
Yeah,
they're
indigo and crystal.
Intuitive or crystal children. I used to call it kids lib, where the kids are free to ask questions that nobody asked before. And of course, usually we say, well, I don't know. Well, tell me when you find out. And dreams, remembering your dreams, learning from that. And also meditating is a way to expand your consciousness. But the mind then is kind of too busy. And so if you can stop your mind, there's a lot of techniques for stopping your mind.
I've been asking people via my Facebook page and some of the people that are watching the show to email me their dreams if they feel like sharing them or their insights or the feelings that they have, especially when they go through solar maximum cycles or solar flares. And I'm noticing some people, there's different reactions from different people, men and women. Some people definitely have more lucid dream states. But some people are having nightmares. Some people are having trouble sleeping. Some people are having hormonal changes. And so I'm finding that right now there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff, also emotional stuff coming up to the forefront that has to be dealt with. That's just kind of some of the patterning I've seen and how people